Hello YouTubers, Buster Gun Mill here. The current time is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's date, January 21st, 2025. And after successfully beating Asterigos Curse of the Stars for PlayStation 4, we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of it. As per usual, we're going to be doing the good, the bad, what I would have fixed, and my final score out of 5 and 10. So, let's get started, shall we? Let's talk about in this game was the soundtrack. Now it does change from location to location and from scene to scene, depending on what you're doing. Now you can't hear it throughout my playthrough most of the time because I'm too busy focused on everything that has to be done before the end game. However, when I do have an idle walk from location to location, you can hear it slightly. I did enjoy it. It was very calming at times and intense at others. It really breathed life into the world. Around, I have to say, the English voice acting was good. Now, for those of you who absolutely can't stand English voice acting, I suggest you mute my playthrough because I do, in fact, let all of the voice acting take place as it should. I enjoyed each voice, and each voice was distinctive, and gave each character a personality all their own. Next up would be the look and feel of the game. From location to location, from region to region, from beginning to end, each location in this game is distinctive from one another. Even locations that are connected by region are distinctive. This makes it so that even if you're running through the same part of the game multiple times, you'll feel that something is different each time around. I did enjoy the fact that each location felt more lifelike than most games I've played recently. From the creatures and enemies that you come in contact with, from the very environments to itself. I did enjoy them, and I hope that more games in the future take more time to approach this better. Boss fights. Each boss in this game is very distinctive from one another, and no two bosses function exactly the same. Which means you may or may not have to change up your tactics for each boss in order to get the most optimal results. It also means you'll have to play it by ear, because not all bosses will have a tell. And since in this game, bosses don't have weak spots that you can easily target, you'll have to figure them out as you go. I will give them credit that each boss is distinctive, and each boss has their own unique fighting style that you'll have to adjust to in order to get the best and optimal results for your wins. It won't be easy, but if you play it by ear, you will succeed. The character design. Each character in this game that you meet or come across is very distinctive in personality and look alike. From the very first NPC you come in contact with to the very last one you come in contact with, each character is unique, and no two characters act exactly alike. Even characters from the same faction or group don't act alike. And that gives each character a distinct personality. Okay, so now that we're done with all the good things about this game, let's move on to the bad things, shall we? I wanted to talk about from this game was the collectibles. Now, if any of you know me well enough, you know that I hate collectibles unless they're giving me an immediate benefit. For this game, there are a total of at least 3 trophies that are directly tied to collectibles. And trust me, the way the collectibles are hidden in this game, you will walk by a couple of collectibles guaranteed, and only if you look at a walkthrough or watch a walkthrough will you actually be able to understand where they are, because they are really, really well hidden. And that's a bad thing in my perspective. And the next bad thing about this game I wanted to talk about is a mild spoiler. So for those of you who don't want to be spoiled, feel free to skip this part. However, you have been warned. With that out of the way, I will bring it up now. There is a mechanic in the game that they barely go over that directly affects the ending of the game. Now, since it's not in this gameplay footage that you can see here, if you do watch my full playthrough, you'll see a desk of sorts. There are going to be some silver medals on that desk. How many silver medals you have before you get to the final end game directly affects your ending. If you have 8 or more silver medals, which can only be acquired by getting certain side missions done correctly, in which you'll hear a certain jingle, which to me wasn't loud enough for you to actually understand or hear correctly. If you get 8 of those before you hit the end game, the final level, the final boss, then you are guaranteed a better ending. However, if you get 7 or less, you are guaranteed the default ending. I really wish they would have spent enough time on this, or at least taken some time to explain it in full detail. You don't have to spoil anything, however, it would have been better if they took more time on it. Last but not least, on the list of bad things about this game was the saving feature. This includes the manual saving feature that plagued me the entire game. From the very start of the game, my manual saves chose not to work, up until a certain point. Now because of that, I got screwed over towards the end of the game. When I was in the middle of doing the side quests, I screwed something up royally and didn't know about it until after I read a guide. Had I known about this, I would have saved before I made that final decision that screwed me over. But because the manual save didn't work properly up until a certain point, I wasn't able to redo that side quest, screwing me out of the good ending. So take with that what you will. I wish somebody would have playtested that multiple times and fixed it up until that point. We're done with both the good and the bad of this game. Here's a few things I would have changed. Number 1, the collectibles. I would have made those collectibles very easy to find or very easy to locate. Meaning I would have made them glow or stand out so obviously that the only way you'd miss them is if you purposely walked by them and didn't check around you. For me, the collectibles were very difficult. I had to look up a walkthrough to help me find some of them because they were that well hidden. I feel like if they had a glowing light coming down on them, I would have easily been able to find them. And explaining that silver metal mechanic the first thing, within the first 5 minutes of the game, I would have taken some time to explain and give an example of what those silver metals meant and maybe hinted at what they were going to mean overall. Because for me, that screwed me out of a good ending. If I had known that the results of those side quests would have directly impacted the ending, I would have tried to do a little bit harder, or at least figured out which results I needed to get the good ending would have been. I would have definitely fixed the manual and autosave mechanics in this game. I would have made it so easy and so simple to manually save that it would be damn near impossible for you not to be able to do it by the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. In my playthrough, my manual save didn't work up until a certain point in the game, so any decisions I made were considered permanent because I couldn't go back and change them. If somebody had playtested that and fixed it, that would have been great. I would definitely have playtested and made sure that that mechanic worked 100% before release. Now, your playthrough may vary, but mine was definitely a lot harder because of it. The side mission mechanic in this game. I would have made side missions very easy to spot from a mile away. Maybe a glowing light above their heads would have been nice to know, hey, this person is a side quest. If you want to do the side quest, then yeah, go to this person. If not, then avoid them. Also directly tying into that would be certain people that you can't kill in order to do a side quest. Because, mild spoiler ahead, the very first side quest that you do requires you to save some blacksmiths. You cannot kill those blacksmiths at any point in time before the mission is over, or you will screw yourself out of that side mission. Also, tying into that would have been, hey, give me a better list of what I need to do in order to complete these side quests correctly. That would have been in the side quest menu underneath certain other menus would have been fine. Break it down into steps that I would need to complete in order for me to get that side mission done completely. I hate when games don't give you a clear-cut method of going about your side quests so that you complete them efficiently. This game fell into that trap as well. I would have made sure that was done before release. Once it's said and done, good, the bad, whatever you changed, here's my final score out of 5 and 10. So, for my final score out of 5, I give this game a 4 out of 5, and out of 10, I give it an 8 out of 10. So, as I say this time and every time, what you're gonna do, sign off now, be safe, be smart, be silent. Or whatever done this eventually comes life. Be safe out there, and thanks for watching.